Good morning, all. SAKTHI Institute of Information and Management Studies is elated to welcome you all to the two-day international conference on Global Business Change and Transformation E-Summit 2021. We at SIMS are privileged to start our big day with the blessings of our beloved President, Dr. B.K. Krishnaraj Vanavarayar. Business transformation is all about identifying techniques, new processes, technologies that aren't being used to their maximum capacity. It is an inconvenient truth that most companies are great at their core business, but they are not great at reimagining the future of their business. As disruptive technologies and companies continue to raise consumer expectations, business environments are constantly changing. Digital business transformation is what closes the gap between what consumers expect and what traditional business models can deliver. All this was true even before the COVID-19 crisis came along to devastatingly illustrate how rapidly change occurs in today's world. From a business perspective, the global pandemic has acted as an accelerant in the wholesale transformation of business relationships and interactions between companies, customers, suppliers, and employees. The true potential of transformation today, after a year that has seen irrevocable shifts in how we consume and how we work. The businesses have to develop capabilities of improving constantly to serve consumers' changing wants and needs. For businesses, some updates will require retiring parts of product or service, while others result in complete revamp from one version to the next. Either way, each update, no matter how big or small, revolutionary or incremental, is an evolution that will serve well in an era where standing still is not an option. Our international conference starts with the inaugural session, followed by the technical session 1 on business transformation trends and challenges, and technical session 2 on futuristic view of global business. The day 2 starts with technical session 3 on HR and marketing trends in new generation business, followed by technical session 4 with the paper presentations. And finally, it concludes with valedictory. Now, it is time to invite our respected advisor of SIMS, Dr. P. Subramanian, to deliver the welcome address.
Most respected President of SIMS, Dr. B.K. Krishnaraj Vanavarayar, respected Secretary of SIMS, Sri M. Balasubramaniam, Mr. G. Muniswamy, the Management Representative, Mr. Jitendra Patel, Chief Executive Officer, Global Safety Consultants, USA, Mr. Ashok Garlapati, Director of BCSP USA, Kandapan Balasubramaniam, Associate Director, Human Capital Development of CRIT Malaysia, Dr. Maran Marimuthu, Professor in Management, Petronas Technical University, Malaysia, Mr. Anand Mayappan, Business Head, South and West India, MoneyGram International, Mumbai, Dr. D. Kumareshan, Principal, Lakshmi Narayana Arts and Science College for Women, Dharmaburi, Dr. R. Nandagopal, Director, Xavier Institute of Management and Entrepreneurship, Cochin, Dr. K.V. Somanath, Assistant Professor of GV College of Commerce, Maharashtra, Dr. M. Muthugopalakrishnan, Associate Professor, School of Business and Management, Christ University, Bangalore, Mr. Karthikeyan Javagar, COE, Karma Innovations, Calcutta, Dr. Maran, Dean, School of Management, Sairam Engineering College, Chennai, Dr. P. Nandan, Professor in Commerce and Management of Bannur, Karnataka. Dr. Shagar, Associate Professor, National Institute of Technology, Calicut. Dr. Karuswamy Ramanath, CEO, Spectrum Skills Yard and City Academy. Dr. V. Chitra, Head, Department of Commerce, Jain College for Women, Chennai. I am immensely pleased in extending a warm welcome to all the dignitaries and the participants for the inaugural session of the two-day international conference organized by SIMS. SIMS was founded by Padma Bhushan Aritchilver, Dr. N. Magalingam in 2010 in NGM College campus, Pollachi, to impart management education of international standard to the rural students at an affordable cost. It is a standalone business school approved by AICT, New Delhi, and affiliated to Anna University, Chennai. It is committed towards providing academic excellence and imparting entrepreneurial skills for developing global leaders. It is ably managed and guided by our President, Dr. B.K. Krishnaiyer, and Secretary M. Balasubramaniam. In a short span of time, SIMS has achieved many milestones. It has secured 25 university ranks in Anna University so far, including the first rank during the academic year 2012-14. In recognition of its impressive performance, it has received many accolades and honors. Chronicle, a leading national level magazine, has awarded A grade the Best Business School Survey 2017. And SIMS has been adjusted as the Best Management College of the Year 2017 by Higher Education Review Bangalore and Academic Insight in 2019. SIMS is much passionate about blending knowledge with values to shape the students as the responsible citizens and world-class professionals, for which a special course on human excellence is incorporated in the regular curriculum. Management schools have a big responsibility to groom its candidates to take advantage of the aspirational India, and we need to prepare them to grab the opportunities and excel in career. SIMS is conscious of the ever-changing trends in management and are well equipped to cope with the same. Dear participants, we are living in an era of fast-changing world. Innovation has become the buzzword. Technology is fast-changing. Lot of changes and developments have been taking place across the globe. We, the educators, have to keep pace with these technological changes and update and enrich our knowledge. Otherwise, we will be left behind in our journey towards excellence. Keeping this in mind, SIMS has been arranging a series of seminars, conferences at national and international levels. Today, a two-day international conference on global business change and transformation E-Summit 2021 has been arranged by SIMS. Adapting to change is a prerequisite to survive and succeed in a global business environment, especially in the pandemic period. COVID-19 has demonstrated the importance of digital readiness, which allows business and life to continue as usual during the pandemics. Digital transformation has become imperative for all businesses, small, medium, large. Global companies have embraced new ways of operations to shift their traditional mode of operation and management to the modern technology-oriented ways of operation. Some of the remarkable transformations that have taken place in the digitalization era are digital and contactless payments, online shopping, remote work, distance learning, telehealth, online entertainment, supply chain 4.0, robotics, and drones. This e-summit is aimed at discussing on how change management in the era of digitalization and automation, especially in this pandemic period, have a significant positive impact for managing the disruption and challenges of business transformation in order to realize the intended benefits. Dear participants, I kindly request every one of you to actively participate in all the sessions and make use of the inputs by resource persons across the world for your academic enrichment. I take this opportunity to express my gratitude and thanks to our beloved President, Dr. B.K. Krishnaraj Vanavarayar, for his continuous encouragement and motivation in organizing programs of this kind. I also thank our beloved Secretary, Sri Balasubramanian, and the management representative, Mr. G. Muniswamy, for their financial and moral support in organizing the conference. My special thanks to Dr. Karupasamy Ramanathan, CEO, Spectrum Skillsource and City Academy, who played a key role in arranging the resource persons abroad for the conference. Last but not least, I also thank the entire SIMS team for the efforts they have been taking to make the program a great success. I once again welcome one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time to introduce the chief guest of the day. It's my honor to introduce the chief guest. Mr. Jitendra C. Patel, CPEA FASSP, is an international HSC consultant who has a BS in chemistry and an MPhil in fuel science. For 21 years, he has provided health and safety professional services to Aramco, oil and gas producing and processing corporation, worth nearly $13 trillion. He also has provided technical training and conducted research for 15 years on fires, explosions, health, safety, and environment issues at a heavy chemicals manufacturing company in the UK. Mr. Patel has developed and conducted fire and safety seminars for safety and fire prevention engineers and line management of industry operations. He has presented many technical and safety presentations, which are published in international publications. His work has taken him throughout the world, serving on such boards and committees internationally, in addition to US national and state level organizations. He is a membership chair of the ASSP International Professional Specialty Executive Board and a member of the BEAC Training and Education Board. He is a senior board advisor to the ASSP Arizona chapter. He is a founder of international ASSP chapters in the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and in India. He is a director of Global Safety Institute, USA. He is the chief executive officer of the Global Safety Consultant, LLC, USA. He is also the chairman of the Global Society of HSC Professionals. And following are the awards received by him: the ASSP Arizona with a Howard Haidman Award of Safety Professional of the Year 2006-07. He is a member of the ASSP Technical Professional Recognition Committee. Also honored in 2011 in Chicago with the highest and the most prestigious award of a fellow of the ASSP. And he is the recipient of the ASSP's Diversity Award of 2012. He is also honored with a US Lifetime Achievement Safety Standout Award for recognizing workplaces exceptionally engaged in safety at a BRL's Safety Summit in Orlando during April 16 to 18, 2018. Mr. Patel is a BCSP advocate and he is an executive advisor to board of directors of many corporations. Mr. Patel, the father of safety, is being considered for recognition as the 2018 James C. Ball Lifetime Achievement Award. Mr. Patel is in the highest honor list of ASSP for promoting ASSP membership globally, with engaging in developing the EHS profession and the professionals with up-to-date, state-of-the-art available international information to help industry achieve their safety goals. Mr. Patel is an author of an inspirational memoir, What We Give. Now, I kindly request our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Jitendra C. Patel, CPEA, FASSP, Chief Executive Officer, Global Safety Consultants, LLC, USA, to deliver the inaugural address. Please, sir.
Dr. Balaji, thank you very much for these kind words. One thing you missed out sharing is that I am almost approaching 80 years old age. With that, I would like to start my inaugural presentation by greeting everybody. Namaskar. Good morning to all. President Dr. Krishna Raj ji, Dr. Subramanyam ji, Dr. Thiagu, all at SAKTHI Standalone Business School. My dear student friends who are on this call as delegates, respected faculty, honored industry executives, guests, ladies and gentlemen, I want to congratulate the organizing committee for hosting such a huge two-day e-conference. I urge all the participants to benefit from these value-adding presentations. Today, I'm going to speak on leadership for a better world in times of crisis. Let's look at what makes someone a legendary leader, like what you see in this slide in front of you. My slide's not moving. Any help? It's not changing the slide. I did. Keep. I see.
Keep right click and move this thing. Right
Oh,
click
you want
and
me
next.
to?
Right click and next. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Next at the top.
Okay. All right. Will I have to do each time like this? No. Now it's working.
So.
Fine.
Yeah.
So now it's working, Ashokji. Thank you. Sorry about this.
No problem.
What are the key qualities of a leader? Passion, ability to communicate and inspire shared vision, self-reflection and awareness, willingness to share power, successes and failures, ability to operate under uncertainty, and focusing on big picture. Friends, if I'm asked what makes one an effective leader, my answer would be one who exercises the best industry practices with strong self-confidence and competency. As leaders, we have to make some hard choices and champion some unpopular positions. We passionately must stand up for what we believe, and that we equally as passionately should grow our skills to better articulate the business cases for safety, quality, and profitability. One gets feelings of confidence when he or she is self-motivated, using strategies of success plan till success is achieved, and that completes the entire cycle of self-confidence, which you are looking at it. Let us understand what is leadership. Leadership is the ability to influence people, to work towards meeting an objective or goals. Leadership ensures that employees know the corporate goals and communicates what is expected of them, and also that they are committed and motivated to the goals. Effective leadership believes in teamwork, who works hard to meet with the needs of personnel and the company. Leadership according to the president Leadership, according to the President Eisenhower, you do not lead by hitting people over their heads. That's an assault. And it is not the leadership. Have you ever wondered what leadership is all about? It is how you lead people, how you influence them, how you command and guide people. That is what it's all about. You may have also wondered, what is the difference between managers and leaders? Managers focus on things and do things right. They plan, they organize, direct, control, and follow the rules. Whereas the leaders focus on people and do the right things. They inspire, influence, and motivate people. They build and shape entities. In short, major difference between the managers and leaders is manager has eyes on the bottom line, but the leader has eyes on the horizon. Manager imitates, but the leader originates. To be an effective leader, you need to be consistent, sincere, courteous, and friendly with good understanding for looking for the strength. Leaders possess qualities as being responsible, having motivation, understanding, predictability, trustworthiness. They welcome change, communication, teamwork, driven by goals and vision. Good learners have high ethics and they are confident problem solvers. Leaders are role models and lead by example. Your actions should reflect what you say because people will observe how you handle your responsibilities as a leader and gauge your commitment. Successful leaders learn from their mistakes and take accountability for their actions. Being an effective leader means you need to be committed to all aspects of running a company efficiently with the aim of reaching a shared purpose. Leaders are not afraid of taking calculated risks because you may need to make decisions such as adding new products or expansion or upgrade projects to benefit the growth of the company. Leaders must participate in the planning process that motivates staff and engineers and others to achieve the desired goal. According to Professor Bennis, leadership is the function of knowing yourself, having a vision that is well communicated, building trust amongst colleagues, and taking effective action to realize your own leadership potential. Good leadership is necessary for any successful business, regardless of its size. Companies can only make progress if good leadership is in place that enables them to move forward. When the leader of the company does not have the required skills, he or she will not be able to effectively motivate their employees, thus restricting the business from attracting new opportunities. They must focus on what the business can achieve by working with the rest of the team. Successful leaders understand the importance of teamwork and how to incorporate everyone's skills. The skills of each individual is the company can be improved through adequate training that enables everyone to handle their responsibilities effectively and efficiently. Staff need to be trained to become aware of what is required of them and to further develop their skills. You should be able to interact and accommodate varied personalities and traits. Your customers need to be able to approach you and know that you will address their needs in a professional manner. Employees should also feel at ease whenever they are in your presence. Leadership must develop traits and skills that leaders use, including high integrity, honesty, compassion, and humility. Our Mahatma Gandhi said, if you want the world to change, you be the first. Similarly, Prime Minister Winston Churchill said, the price of greatness is responsibility. And everyone's beloved Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, a genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but he or she is a molder of consensus. You can conduct a self-check whether you are a successful leader by asking these questions. Do I get results? Do I provide direction by reminding them of what's important? Do I create authentic human relationships? Do I generate and sustain trust? Do I convey a feeling of hope? As we heard from Dr. Subramaniam, transactional leaders focus on maintaining the status quo. They work within the existing organizational culture, relate to followers by transactions, and are reactive. Whereas transformational leaders focus on change and communicate clear vision. They address the needs and values of the organization and also of their followers, and they are proactive. The 5 practices of exemplary leadership in crisis are: model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, enable others to act, and encourage the heart. Executives focus during times of disruption and upheaval as leaders. COVID-19 is causing a humanitarian crisis globally. Sadly, we are not yet out of the woods. In other words, we are no near the end of the crisis. In recent days, COVID-19 is a test. It is a test case for good and bad leadership. In my opinion, the leader's primary responsibility is to keep the team safe, cohesive, and productive. But what should a leader be focused on in the midst of the crisis situation that we are all in? Number 1, create a clear list of priorities and implement them with a high degree of local manager autonomy. Effective leaders empower managers to make the best decisions they can. such as keeping employees safe and behaving ethically toward customers. Clear thresholds should be put in place for when a local manager needs to ask for authorization from the center. Number 2, pursue a non-binary approach to problem solving. This is the opposite of what I call the teenager approach to the problem solving. Teenagers tend to adopt a binary approach to solving problems. Should we break up or stay together? I hate my school. Should I just drop out? There are always more options besides do's and don'ts. If teams are creative in problem solving, for example, many leaders face with the decision of whether to fire people and risk losing talent, not to mention further disruption of lives, or keep them and risk their margin. But what if there are so many other options? So number 3, sharpen a clear, honest, empathetic, and simple approach to communication as the COVID-19 situation evolves. This is obvious, and yet I included it here in this presentation because it is so important. We live in the era of rapid dissemination of information that is of questionable veracity from multiple sources. Be the trusted source. The emphasis should be on what your listeners take in, especially in a situation that is volatile and unpredictable. And number 4, collect stories of teams to overcome the adversity caused by COVID-19. People are capable of amazing things. In a time of crisis, capture the detail of these stories. Do not summarize. If you need to, but not too much. COVID-19 is the humanitarian tragedy that continues to disrupt millions of lives. Good leadership is crucial. This crisis represents an opportunity for leaders to create more team cohesion and innovation in the face of adversity. Humanity matters to good leadership. For example, United States former leadership focused on economy, whereas India on humanity and health.
Ready, what of thanks story.
Sir, I request others, please, you can mute your mic, please.
Thank you, Dr. G. Humanity matters to good leadership. For example, United States former leadership focused on economy, whereas India on humanity and health based on science. As a result, United States lost more than 530,000 people with suffering economy badly, as compared to India, 150,000 people died with having over 4 times larger population in India. Check out the legacy of President Abdul Kalam, which you can see the slide. If you put banana and monkey and money in front of monkeys, monkeys will choose bananas because monkeys do not know that money can buy a lot more banana. But in reality, if you put money and health in front of people, people tend to choose money because too many people do not know that health can bring more money and happiness. My dear friends, please Google and listen to the most effective, proud, and prevailing current caring leader, India's Mrs. Vandana Shiva, how profits dictate actions which in the long run are detrimental to the global society. She taught lessons to Monsanto Bayer on money versus ethics, and good for all, a constant challenge. I do not want to reveal too much detail because of the constraint of the time, but if you Google, you will be able to see about 8 or 9 minutes narrative by this lovely lady, talented lady, environmentalist, and you will be surprised and so be proud of being an Indian. In conclusion, all of you who are on this seminar or summit, you are unique leaders. No one else is like you in the whole wide world. This makes you special already. Our time in this world is limited. Make it happen for you so you leave your mark in history. Hard choices need to be made more so than during a crisis. Keep those choices and priorities hyper clear. Finally, my sincerest thanks to President Dr. Krishnarajji, Dr. Subramaniam, Dr. Tiago, and all others who have worked them for hosting this international e-conference. Hats off to the organizing committee for their thoughtful planning and execution of this most valuable and sizable two-day e-conference. We are grateful to Dr. Karupaswamy for his excellent coordination with his scholastic contributions, and personally for bestowing upon this honor with an opportunity to deliver this inaugural address. Most importantly, message to student friends, please take good advantage of this conference to listening from and learning from these highly accomplished and respected faculty. Also, with support from your institute, consider joining and forming a student chapter, including a special women's group, to be part of the Global Society of Health, Safety, Environment Professionals, to grab opportunities to develop your leadership and other practice specialty skills for excelling your successful futures. When you focus on human values, profit generates naturally. Years ago, a company known as Aluminum Corporation of America, which operated in 40 different countries with 200,000 employed, suffered losses. No one could bring it back. The board of directors thought to give a chance to bring life into industry. They roped a guy called Paul O'Neill, a very young and dynamic man, as a CEO of the corporation. At a first open general meeting, where the board of directors, investors, corporate management, and others were anxious with lots of expectation to listen to this new man, what will he do to turn the fortune of this company? The new CEO had no papers, no PowerPoint, nor anything else, and took less than 10 minutes. He simply stated, my prime concern is safety. He alluded this past experience with industry, that workplace accidents and injuries due to lack of safety corporations business suffered and suffered severely. He directed the company operation to be injury-free. One courageous executive asked, what about the production and profitability? The new CEO replied, my only profit is safety. And he concluded the meeting. After the meeting, many who came with big expectation, began to mumble, "We have a hippie in the corporation to work under, who does not seem to know business." He did not even say where the company went wrong and how to correct the situation. By the time people went back to their offices, they received the corporate directive from the same new young CEO, all on safety only. If there is any injury, I should be informed. I would volunteer to take care of the injured. Currently, the COVID-19 is the challenge to such CEOs. The victims' wages will be double for the lost time injury days. The manager's wages will be cut to cover the payments. If no injuries, all employees would receive a pay rise across the company, and that will be also equally. When the intent was understood, employees at the workflow level, they were convinced that there is a guy on top who cares about my life and my family and my well-being. At the end of the first year, employee commitment grew, injuries decreased, resulting into almost $1 billion worth profit. In a few years, the company which he had inherited running into a huge loss was worth $27 billion in plus. He evidently proved that there is profit in humanitarian values, showing love and concern for employees' safety. He earned their hearts for full commitment, helping to increase productivity, and that too with quality and safety leading to profitability. At the end, at Global Safety, Health and Safety Environment Professionals, we feel strongly that India's Make in India vision, with manufactured goods having zero defects, which we support, with the world-class safety culture in India that believes in be vocal, buy local, and go global. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy the conference. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. He who cannot be a good follower cannot be a good leader. Aristotle. I suppose it is good to follow your insights to become a good leader in future. Thank you once again, sir. Now, I take the privilege of introducing the keynote speaker, Ashok Garlapati. He is a health, safety, and environmental professional certified with CSP, QEP, and CFIOSH, and Fellow of American Society of Safety Professionals, USA. He holds a Bachelor's of Environmental Engineering with an MBA. He has 32 years of experience in HSE consultancy and HSE management in oil and gas industries. He's also the lead auditor of ISO 14001 and ISO 45001 standards, and approved as a global OSHA outreach trainer. He has extensive experience in implementation of HSE management systems for process industries in line with international standards. Mr. Ashok is a professional member of American Society of Safety Professionals and a past president of ASSP's Kuwait chapter. He played an important role in Kuwait chapter's establishment in the year of 2001, which has now become ASSP's largest international chapter. He served as a member of ASSP's Global Task Force and supported in the establishment of ASSP's chapters in India, UAE, Nigeria, and Pakistan. He served as the first founding vice president of ASSP's global region, which serves all 10 international chapters located around the world. He has been conferred with fellow honor by ASSP in May 2020. He has also received Charles V. Curbleton Award, the Region's 6th Safety Professional of the Year Award in 2009, ASSP President's Award in 2010, and Edgar Montasso Quincy Safety Professional of the Year Award in 2011, and IPS SPY Award in 2014. He has been appointed as the Ambassador Board of Certified Safety Professionals in recognition of his professional volunteering. And currently, he is serving as a Board of Director in BCSP. Ashok is a member of International Association for Drilling Contractors, International Association of Oil and Gas Producers, International Petroleum Industries Environmental Conservation Association, Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, Institute of Engineers India, Safety Engineers Association of India, and member of Tamil Nadu Engineers Forum, Kuwait, since its inception in the year 2001. He is one of the founding governing council member of Global Society of HSE Professionals India. Now, I take the privilege of requesting Mr. Ashok Garlapati, FASSP, CSP, CFIYSH, QP, to deliver the keynote address. Please, sir.
Thank you, Madam. Vanakkam, namaskar. I would like to share my screen before we continue our presentation. Are you able to see my screen, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir. It's good to go.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. And I would like to thank our chairman, Mr. Jitu Patel, for setting the platform for this international conference. I would like to extend my gratitude to SIMS dignitaries, faculties, and as well as the participants who are taking their time to attend this international conference. And of course, main appreciation goes to Dr. Karupaswamy, who was instrumental in connecting the dots from Coimbatore to Kuwait to the Arizona, USA. So it's wonderful, Dr. RK. Thank you for, connecting the dots of sharing our information with all the students and faculties of the SIMS. And through this global business change and transformation electronic e-summit, So this is a great opportunity for me to share, as Madam said, that I am mostly into the oil and gas industry. I was listening to our SIMS president's remarks also, that how the industry is changing. And I'm going to specifically talk about how the challenges in the oil and gas industry are changing, as well as these challenges are overcome by the industry leaders. So that's what my topic today. And I just want to extend my greetings from the Kuwait, state of Kuwait. As you see on the screen, of course, many people may not be knowing, this is the monumental tower in Kuwait, like Taj Mahal. So it's a free gift to you all to see the Kuwait's monumental tower called Kuwait Towers. And with that, I just want to briefly talk about the trends in the oil and gas industry. But before that, I just want to set a platform for my speech, the learning from the past. So I think slides are not fully visible. Yes, let's see. Yeah, this is the famous poet called Wordsworth, William Wordsworth. I really like this. We are into the HSE, health, safety, environment field. We always talk about learning from the past. Why this incident happened, what went wrong, how can we avoid such incidents in the future? The same thing happens to the corporate world also. Learning from the past means becoming aware of how we reacted previously and preparing ourselves to respond in the right manner in the next time. I'm sure many students also attending this conference, but this is a very, very, very important concept in our life also. What went wrong, whether we took the decisions rightly, how can we take the right decision in the future to avoid the disaster? That's very important for the health, safety, and environment field. Again, our previous speakers also talking about the leadership and technological change. it's very, very important, gentlemen and ladies, that technological change is very important, how each company has to adapt the technological change. Always it is happening, even this COVID-19 made a huge challenges for the corporate world, but every day we are overcoming those challenges. So technology is the key to maintaining and expanding companies' role as a trendsetter. If you don't adapt the technology, if you don't gear up for the challenge, what the each industry is coming up, you will see the disaster. I'm going to share learning from the past, I said. I'm going to share the next slide, which is a real disaster for one of the corporate world. I'm sure many of you are aware when we are, of course, many of our youngsters here, but we used to have a Kodak film rolls, in our earlier ages. Even my marriage is having about 15 rolls of each 36 photos. We used to develop these photos in one big screen, and we used to select these photos for the further development. There was no digital photos those days. Then we select those 36 photos out of 36, whatever has come well, and we will develop only those things. Those were the days, and Kodak and Fuji were ruling the world that time, in 1980s, also something like that. But the shift in the focus, the global smartphone market has increased from the year 2006 or onwards, that there are a lot of smartphones have come up, the digital phones have come up, but Kodak has not really faced that challenge. They did not gear up for the challenge. They did not adapt the challenge. They failed to reinvent themselves. They had a complacency. We are the world leaders. We can take anything from that. Complacency is one of the biggest disastrous start. I can say, if you have a complacency in the leadership, that will be the disaster for the company itself. Not only the company, the employees and their dependents, everybody. So you need to have a good vision. Vision should be there to adopt the challenges and how we overcome those challenges. This is one of the example I just wanted to give. There are so many examples like a Nokia and other things. Of course, you're all MBA students. I'm sure you'll be coming across all these case studies. I just wanted to share this particular companies, how the Kodak has closed almost their operations into the field because of the lack of the organizational agility. So I just wanted to share that, and I would like to go into the dive into the oil and gas field, oil and gas industry, how we are overcoming these challenges. So before that, I just wanted to give a brief outlook of oil and gas industry. The slide which you are seeing now, this is being produced by the British Petroleum on annual basis. Every year, if you see in the Google, you will get this full book free of cost. Basically, they talk about the different types of energies available in the industry, because they're all dynamic, So different types of energies available. What are the challenges we are facing? How we can increase the renewable energy outputs? If you see this particular screen, again, oil is a major energy source in the whole world, followed by the coal, followed by the natural gas and hydroelectricity and the nuclear energy, and you see the renewable energy. Today, our Indian government talking about the one sun, one world, basically to capture the renewable energy of the solar energy. There's a lot of things are happening in India with respect to the solar energy. Again, this particular document gives the full information on a yearly basis where the energy is coming to the world from different sources. Again, oil and gas is the primary source, as you see. And the next slide talks about the basically distribution of the proven reserves, in different regions of the world. And this particular, it's ranging from the 1999 to the 2009 and 2019. And if you see here, basically, Middle East is having the higher resources, higher oil and gas reserves, and followed by the other countries, Central and South and Central America, and followed by the the yellow region is the Asia Pacific region, where we have a little oil and gas reserves with respect to the this particular energy. So we need to conserve our energy resource also. That's what Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas of India, every year they come up with the Oil Conservation Week. When I was working in Chennai Petroleum Corporation Limited, this used to be the big event for the whole Chennai itself, the whole nation itself, that oil and gas natural, in the ministry talks about the Oil Conservation Week, because we don't have a much oil and gas resource in our country. If you conserve, you are producing almost, so you need to conserve the oil and gas resources. And the next slide talks about the oil resource to the production ratio. Oil reserves to the production ratio means how much oil is available, how much you are producing it. Okay, this particular, again, it's a South and Central America is very high, followed by the Middle East. And the yellow region is the Asia Pacific region. We have the little resource, of course, we have producing less also. And this particular slide talks, very important slide, gentlemen, which talks about the oil production versus the consumption. Again, yellow is our region, Asia Pacific region. We have a little resource, but you see our consumption, it's huge. We are the highest among the world. Our Asia Pacific region is highest among the world because of the population, because of we are developing world, and so the consumption is very high. And again, I recall and remember that conservation is very, very important aspect with respect to the oil and gas resources. So we need to focus on that. Why we need to focus? This particular slide talks about that. If you see this particular slide, the historical trend of crude oil prices, how they were in 70s, and it slowly increased. Now it's about 70 barrels in 2019 data. This is slowly the consumption is increasing, resources are reducing it. Obviously the demand is more, obviously the price will be more. You are all MBA students, so I'm sure you're all aware of that demand and supply forecast and all those things. So we need to conserve oil and gas resources. Okay, and let's talk about the major trade movements with respect to the oil and gas. So the oil and gas resources are available in different parts of the world, but again, the consumption is mostly in the Asia Pacific region. As you see, we are getting oil and gas from South and Central America, Middle East, and everywhere. Again, it's through the trade movements. I just wanted to say that it's not produced in our own country. It is being procured from outside. In the recent past, everybody is talking about the fuel price and other things. Again, it all depends on the international market, how the oil and gas are produced, how the OPEC is supplying to the industry. So everything depends on the supply and demand, So again, we don't want to, waste our resources, use with optimum, thinking, as well as conserving the natural resources. With that, I just want to enter into the next phase of the discussion today, technology revolution in the oil and gas. I was listening to our president's remarks, as well as our Mr. Jitu Patel's remarks, that we are changing because of the COVID-19, because of so many factors. The technology is changing in every field. We never thought of these Zoom meetings prior to March 2020, but nowadays we connect by the virtual means. You are sitting in Coimbatore, I am here. Everybody is connected now because of the technology. We adopt the technology when the situation arises. So same thing is happening in the oil and gas industry. Particularly, I'm in the field from last 3 decades. Particularly last decade has seen enormous advances in technology related to the finding of the oil reserves and estimation of the oil reserves and production. So from the finding of the oil reserves, estimation, production, transportation, and supply, everywhere the technology is taking place. How best we can produce these oil and gas resources at optimum, at lowest lowest price. So a decade ago, many of these technologies would have seemed like a film industry, like our Rajnikant movie. So, but they are really, I mean, they are really happening now. They are realities. The range from supercomputers to nanotechnology, seismic imaging technologies. That means we see under the ground, 10,000 feet under the ground, where the oil is available, what are the area of the oil reserve. All those things are called the seismic imaging technologies. We will find out where the oil is available. There only we will drill it and capture it. That's because of the technology. And earlier, every rig is moving to the different location with the, a lot of heavy equipment. You need to, we call it as a rig down activities. You need to rig down from particular well, then move it to another location. But today the technology is there now. All these oil rigs can walk, means from one location to the as it is. No, there's no requirement of rigging down and rigging up. So everything can move as it is from one location to the another location, so that your cost of the rig movement is coming down, your cost of the drilling is coming down. Ultimately, the buyer or the consumer is getting the benefit out of these technological changes. So we are adapting the technologies because of the challenges we are facing it. And today we call it as a digital oil field, and where all components integrate and provide the information that we can manage, we can measure. We can also track where the oil is moving over a period of time. It is not going to stay at one place. It keeps on moving it. So because of the digital oil field, digital technologies, all the instruments constantly read from the wellheads and the geological subsurface data. This information is available through the computer technology, and we can always cutting operating cost by 25% while improving the productivity by 5%. If the technology is not adapted, probably we may be having a more fuel prices by the consumers. So that technology is being adapted by the, all our oil and gas people, and we are trying to overcome the challenges. And today we are talking about the new normal. The days of so-called easy oil or conventional oils are dwindling. That means oil and gas reserves are coming down. So we need to find out the best way to find these resources by using the new technologies, technological solutions, thereby increasing the world's producible reserves. That means easily we can approach this particular oil field and get the maximum product out of that. So oil companies of all sizes have used these technologies, and they are overcoming the challenges. Development of the subsea oil fields, the shale play, exploration of shale plays using hydraulic fracturing and horizontal drilling techniques has pushed the US crude output to its highest level since 1989. Earlier, prior to 2000s, the US was importing a lot of oil, but they found the shale oil also that has reduced the import dependency. So the technology is available, so we need to make use of that. That's a new normal. I just wanted to say that, And this is the 4D seismic technology. What it means basically, the 3D technology looks like oil and gas resources as a cube with height, width, and depth, 3-dimensional. But the 4-dimensional is a time component, which is we are adding the time, how the oil and gas fields are moving from one place to another. That's called the 4D seismic technology. This gives the ultimate information, the real-time information to the decision makers, where we can drill it, where we have the resources, and what is the earlier, I'm sure many of you are aware, ONGC spends a lot of money to drill a well, and they come out with they call it as a dry well. So we couldn't find it. But those days have gone now because of the 4D seismic technology. You can find out where the resources are available. There only you can drill it. Nowadays, we don't need to drill all the way down and come up with a dry well. That's not the case nowadays. The 4D seismic technology really helps us to identify where we are drilling, how much oil is there, what is the quality of oil. Everything is possible now. So that is a change in the technology. That is the adaptation of the technology. And I'm in the drilling industry actually. So we really adopt real-time drilling technologies, having the right information available at all stages of the well, because we drill 10,000 to 15,000 feet. every layer we get the samples. So that information, right information, real information is available through the technology again, which will reduce the non-productive time and reduce, of course, the safe operations. There are no, incidents can be reduced, both critically in improving cost effectiveness as well as the exploration environment. I just want to show you a 1-minute video which really talks about the real-time drilling, exactly what it is and how it will benefit the industry.
When you're drilling for oil or gas, oversight is crucial. You need to interpret drilling and geological data quickly to make critical decisions, or your entire operation can run into problems. What you need is a digital approach to drilling a well. You need SiteCom by Kongsberg, a real-time data collection and visualization platform that gives you and your team full control over drilling operations. SiteCom's powerful database provides you with a large volume of well data that's easy to consume, understand, and act on, enabling informed collaboration that allows you to make the right decisions and resolve issues before they become problems, all of which improves well performance while minimizing HS&E issues and financial risk. And with SiteCom's highly scalable and configurable managed hosting deployment model, you can now get all of this functionality in a simple, private cloud-based platform. SiteCom gives you the digital solution you need to drill safer, faster, more effectively, and more affordably. When you're
So I was just telling that the benefits of the real-time drilling, again, adopting the technology, adopting the challenges, we can get the drill safely. There are no much incidents. We can easily get the up-to-date information. What I mean by the safety means, earlier, I'm sure Mr. Jitu Patel was spending his time in Saudi Aramco. When we drill the deep, there are possibilities of the blowouts. I'm sure you always come across the Assam, there is a blowout. In Krishna Basin, there is a blowout. This can be avoided. That's the advantage of the real-time drilling. And another important thing is the drill quickly. We can also drill quickly, drill cheaply, and position accurately. That's what I was telling, that earlier we used to have a dry wells. That is no more. We can find out the resource and drill exactly that particular position. Improves the learning because you are getting the real-time information. You can always improve the learning. Reduce the stuck pipe. As I said, what I mean by stuck pipe, we are drilling at 10,000 feet from the surface. So there are possibilities of the stuck pipe because of the so many reasons, temperature and the collapsing of the well, so many things. But that can be avoided because of the real-time drilling. And confirm cementing, because like we do the cementing of our walls and other things, we also cement the wells to some depth, So the cementing has to be proper. If the cementing is not proper, well will collapse. So the confirm cementing is also possible through the real-time drilling. The cement quality, cement setting, and all those things is really, we can get that information. Another challenge we are facing from the oil and gas industry is the workforce challenges. I'm sure many of your technology, be it computer science, information technology, very less people are coming to the core fields like chemical engineering, those things. Though the aging workforce is a big challenge actually into the oil and gas industry. So it's facing a shrinking talent pool since there is a less people coming to this field. So shrinking talent pool is there. A larger percentage of Indians who have the institutional and technological know-how of their organization specific risk and operations are looking towards a retirement, basically. Nearly 90% of the senior human resource executives at top 22 companies believe this problem is one of the top business issues facing their companies. So this is another challenge we are facing in the oil and gas industry. Again, the statistics have been, there are studies have been done, are undertaking strategic initiatives. As I was telling that we need to gear up for the challenge. So many companies are taking the strategic initiatives to attract the new generation of the workers, including increasing salaries, offering attractive packs, and aggressively recruiting and training. The importance is the training. So whichever field you are studying, the further training as a certification is very, very important to keep up to the challenge. Again, the technology is changing. I studied in 1988, where I studied those days technologies, but even if I sit with that technology, with that study background, I cannot work, I cannot perform. I need to change myself. I need to do a lot of certification courses. That's what is important, Even, I mean, oil and gas industry also encouraging the workers or their employees to take up the challenge with respect to the training. Because if you don't train your employees, they'll be working with the same knowledge of what they have got in the college and what they have got over a period of their experience. Because of the technology is changing, the challenges are more, so the training has to be particularly provided. In particular, approximately 60% of the respondents of this particular study indicated that the technical training is the most vital training needed in the oil and gas industries. So again, gentlemen, the training is very, very important. As a result, oil companies have increased the percentage of their budget spent on training and development programs. I'm sure Dr. RK is into the education and the training field. I listened to his lot of professional development programs. He emphasizes on this particular activity. Training is not only for the oil and gas industry, but every company, you need to focus on training for your employees. They need to gear up for the challenges because of the time and, so the new issues are coming up. So I just want to conclude my presentation with the health, safety, environment, performance, which we are all working, myself and Mr. Jeetu and Dr. RK, everybody is part of this particular field. Over a period of time, if you see this particular trend, 1985 onwards, performance, this is basically a fatal accident rate. How many people are died due to the workplace accidents? If you see this is coming from the International Oil and Gas Producers Association, like BP, like KOC, like ONGC. They're all members of this particular organization. They release a performance on annual basis. So this particular performance is recently released and talking about the statistical trend of fatalities at the workplace in the oil and gas industry from 1985 to 2019. You see this, it's coming down and down and down because of the ISO standards, because of the industry efforts, because of the people are taking the challenges, the new technologies, remote working. People need not go to the hazard. They can work from the outside, outside the workplace. The control measures, hierarchy of controls, everything is being adapted to make this is happening. Still, there is something is there, but those things also to be avoided, And of course, in the oil and gas industry, what happens is that 80 to 90% of the activities are given on the, what you call that, contracting basis, IPO, BPOs, business process outsourcing. So when it is transferred to the contractors, all high risk is faced by the contractors. That's why if you see contractor fatalities are more than the company employees, because company employees sits in the offices and mostly the contractor workers are exposed to the risk. And again, if they don't follow the proper control measures, then there will be a lot of incidents. So that we need to avoid. So that's why Mr. Jeetu was talking about the GSHP. So that's why we started GSHP even in India also, to reduce that particular little gap which we are having. Still some fatalities are happening, but you can say, I can say still, but let me tell you what is that still means. Still means every 15 seconds, a worker dies from the work-related accidents. Is it acceptable? It's certainly not acceptable. It is from the ILO, International Labour Organization standards, that every 15 seconds, industry worker is dying it. You are all going to be the CEOs. You need to gear up for the challenge. Gentlemen, this is not acceptable. Everybody has to put their efforts so that safe operations are completed. We need to gear up for the challenge. Transform the way you view strategy, business models, and innovation management. You need to take up that challenge. Be prepared to shift from protecting your company's competitive advantage to making change radical and revolutionary. You need to do that. to avoid complacency. Again, I emphasize, in my trainings, to my workers, everybody, complacency is a killing. People will say, I have done this job 100 times in my life. I can do 101st time without any precautions and other things. Then only accident will happen. That is a complacency. To avoid complacency, particularly the complacency should not be there at the leadership, CEOs. Complacency ensure that your innovators have a voice with enough volume to be heard, and at the top, adopt agility as an organizational strategy for development. So that's very important. So adopt agility. I just want to share another example here. Our Satya Nadella, who is our Microsoft CEO, he says, C in CEO is culture. Company culture is not to be taken lightly. Again, it drives from the top. Company culture starts at the top and grows at the bottom. Leaders must embody the company's values and be role models for their employees. So this is just want to conclude my speech with that culture has to be driven from the top. And you're all MBA students. You're going to be the CEOs of companies. So you need to ensure that culture is very much important across the organization, which needs to be driven from the top. And yesterday, when Dr. RK asked me to present it, I just wanted to know, what is this SIMS? I know SIMS is a great organization, but I spent about 30 minutes of my time looking at their website, and 100% campus statements. A true visionary leadership is there in SIMS. I truly appreciate Dr. RK for connecting with me this particular conference. And I just thought of sharing how our oil and gas industries overcome the challenges by adopting the digital technologies. I felt very happy to, I feel very happy to speak to you all, and looking forward for, further 2 days of the conference. I wish you best of luck. And again, my dear students, arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is achieved. This is by our Swami Vivekananda, who gets appreciated, who get encouraged by every time we're going through such quotes. So these are very good quotes, and I'm sure you will be a great role model and good output from the SIMS. So as a student of SIMS, you should be really proud of it and gear up for the challenge as you proceed in your careers. With that, I would like to conclude my presentation. But this thing, what our Mr. Jitu Patel said, teamwork is so important. Together, we can achieve more. Everybody brings the value to the team. So you should not neglect any small ideas also. You should share the ideas, you should bring the ideas and make the things happen. With that, I would like to conclude my speech and giving back to the organizers. Nandri, Vanakkam. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. The message you delivered apparently depicts we cannot become what we want by remaining what we are. In current scenario, only change and transformation can lead to success. Thank you once again, sir. Now, I take the honor of, you're welcome, sir. Now, I take the honor of requesting Dr. Karupusamy Ramanathan, CEO, Spectrum Yard and City Academy, to deliver the felicitation address.
Thank you, ma'am, for your warm words. First of all, my sincere thanks for the entire team working under Dr. Subramanian, sir. I think he started with one of the wonderful message for us, the traditional to modern. I think Jitubhai also focused on that, and particularly if you look at the trends prevail in the entire world, even the unexpected things are happening. People are try to go for indigenous technologies. Earlier, they used to adapt to the others' technology. Now people are trying to go for the indigenous technology, which is proven in COVID-19 vaccination. Even China went for indigenous aircraft, just a competitor, for Boeing and Airbus. They're just like a monopoly. And Ashokji shared about the modern drilling method too, okay, real-time drilling. I think all the things put together, if you look into that, there are a lot of changes taking place in the entire world. Not only into the human lifestyle, but also into the industry. The technological upgradation is taking place. The only thing is the biggest challenge for industry is cost involved. So when you go for a cost-effective technology, again the quality matters a lot. And Jithabai rightly pointed about the risk associated with it, both for human as well as for the properties. I think balancing technology, cost, and also risk combined together, I think where it plays a major role. And today I'm happy to listen to Jitendra Padelji, who is said to be a safety guru, the person who has defined the fundamentals of safety, not only to the Gulf region, but also to the entire world. He is the youngest person in the crowd, I'll say, with the mind and heart, just 80-year-old young person in this crowd, a person dynamic who has traveled for more than 120 plus countries. Just imagine the exposure and the experience what he is having. That's why almost I have compelled him, though he had a lot of commitments, preoccupied. He's running a senior citizen home there. There are a good number of the allied people are there. He's supposed to take care, and he's running continuous meeting as right from Arizona to other regions to even recently the GHSP in India. He's having 4 to 5 meetings. So I think we people are gifted to listen to Jitendra Padel sir. And equally the supremo of the oil and gas industry, Ashok Garlapati sir. Even if you ask any person, those who are involved in safety, not only in oil and gas industry, everybody will be knowing it. These two combination of Jitendra Padelji and Ashok Garlapati, because of their service to the upcoming youngsters, young professionals, not only in terms of professional development, and rightly pointed out by Ashokji as a culture. So these are the people, they are cultivating the basic culture, urging for the urging the people to follow the ethics and other practices. I think this is a time to work together. I think Jitendra Padelji mentioned about the student chapters too. Yeah, GHSP is having an opportunity for institutions, for good institutions like SAKTHI group of institutions. We have an opportunity, we are giving an opportunity to open a student chapter where they can enjoy hundreds of privileges. So I think I'll speak with Subramanian sir, and we move forward to open a student chapter for Global Society for HSC Professional. That one we'll make it, sir. Yes. And all the speakers, they mentioned about the change. Okay, I was listening to Mr. Krishnaraj Vanavaraya sir and the Coimbatore Management Association annual award function. He was the chief guest. That time he has mentioned about the word change, how Obama used the word change. He got it from Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela got it from Martin King Luther. Martin King Luther got it from Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi got it from Swami Vivekananda. He has mentioned the entire story about how you can see the connectivity. Jitendra Patel mentioned about the change, and Ashokji finished up with the Swami Vivekananda photo. And there is a connectivity. The world has become very small. So plenty of opportunities are there. I think these type of seminars, conferences, training program will support the youngsters like you, the young budding leaders. You can inspire plenty of things from such type of speaker. I think the rest of the people now, we have seen the powerful performance of opening batsmen, Jitendra Padelji and Ashok Garlapati sir. There are other middle order batsmen and Taylor and batsmen are awaiting eagerly. Okay, let me also listen to them. My sincere thanks for the entire team of SIMS for making such a bright and powerful event. All the very best. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. The world, I suppose, isn't scary anymore of change. It has to be effectively welcomed. Thank you once again. Now, we have arrived at the end of the inaugural session of our conference. May I now request Dr. R. Thiagu, Academic Head SIMS, to deliver the vote of thanks.
So good morning to one and all present here. So it is a privilege and a great joy for me to extend a vote of thanks to all those who has contributed in one way or the other to make this international conference on global business change and transmission e-summit 2021 as a grand success. So ladies and gentlemen, our beloved President Dr. B.K. Krishnaraj Vanavaraya has been the driving force behind this milestone of our achievement. His vision, interest, and hard work has once again culminated in another success story of our SIMS journey. On behalf of faculty, students, and director, I wish to thank him for the efforts he has put into for organizing this international conference today. Thank you, sir, for your guidance and blessings. So we are really very grateful to our respected chief guest, Mr. Jitendra Patel, Chief Executive Officer, Global Safety Consultants, LLC USA, for gracing this occasion and addressing the inaugural function with his informative and interesting thoughts about leadership for young generation. Thank you, sir, for your valuable presence. You have indeed been a great inspiration for us. So we are very thankful to our respected special guest, Mr. Ashok Garlabadi, Advisory Member, Global Operations USA, for gracing this occasion, addressing the keynote with his valuable thoughts and inputs in the area of oil industry. Thank you, sir, for your presence and insights in recent era. A special thanks to our advisor, director and mentor, Dr. P. Subramaniam, for his dynamic coordination of this program in successful way. Thank you, sir. I extend my thanks to Mr. Munusamy, management representative, for his presence and elegant support. Thank you, sir. Our special thanks to Dr. Karupsamy Ramanathan, CEO, Spectrum Skills Chat, for taking efforts to arrange the eminent personality and resource person for this 2 days international conference. And also he delivered a felicitation address today. Thank you, sir. Then I thank all the technical chairpersons and speakers for their concern and gracious presence in this occasion. Thank you all. I wish to thank all the delegates and research scholars for taking efforts to come over online platform to participating and present papers in today's international conference. Thank you. I also wish to thank all student friends who have attended this inaugural function. We are indeed grateful to the media, both the print and electronic media, for their presence today in online platform and supporting SIMS in all the way in all times. I thank our master of ceremony for today's function, Dr. Balaji Vignesh and Ms. Pundavi Napinai, and his team for this elegant coordination for this felicitation of this program. Lastly, I thank all the members of organizing committee and co-coordinators, Dr. R. Sarmila and Anandi, and all my colleagues and staff members who have been involved in the function. Without their cooperation and full support, their program would not have been what it is today. Thank you. Once again, thank you, one and all present here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all the dignitaries for joining in. Now, I request all the participants to join the technical session 1 on business transformation trends and challenges that will begin shortly. Kindly use the Zoom link given in the chat box to join the session. Once again, thank you all for joining. Good day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jitu Patel, sir, and Ashok Ji. Thank you for
Thank
your
you very
valuable
much.
time and wonderful knowledge transformation.
Thank you and good night for me.